Peace and grace to you, beloved child of God. You're not here by chance. This is heaven moment. Listen, some of you watching this right now have been holding on for a long time. You've prayed, you've waited, and maybe you've wondered if you missed your moment. But I need you to hear me with your heart. You haven't missed anything that God has prepared for you when something is meant for you. When heaven has stamped it with your name, nothing can stop it. Not distance. Not delay, not confusion, not even your own mistakes, because destiny doesn't need your perfection. It needs your yes. This message today is not just about love or romance, it's about alignment. It's about recognizing how God is moving in ways you can't see. He's healing hearts, maturing spirits, and positioning people for divine connection. And when your person finally steps in, it won't be random, it will be right on time. You haven't been forgotten, you've been prepared, and preparation takes patience in this teaching. I'm going to share 7 powerful revelations that will open your eyes and steady your heart. You'll learn how to recognize divine timing, how to stay grounded when emotions rise, and how to let go of control so that love can find you the way God intended it to. But before we dive in, I want you to do something that helps this message reach more people who need it. If you've ever been blessed by this kind of teaching, take a moment right now and subscribe to Daily Motivation Prayers. Right now, drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from. Tell me what season you're in, waiting, healing, or stepping into something new. I read every single one. And if this word speaks to you on a deep level, consider leaving a super thanks to help us keep creating content that changes lives. This space is for people who are ready to grow, ready to heal, ready to stop chasing and start aligning. So lean in, because by the end of this video, you'll understand that nothing can stop what's meant for you. And your soulmate is closer than you think. Let's begin. Number 1. The season of divine alignment. There comes a moment in every believer's life when waiting starts to feel heavy, when you've prayed so long that silence starts to sound like rejection. But what you may not realize is that silence is often the sound of alignment. When God is aligning something divine, He doesn't rush it, He arranges it, He orchestrates it, because divine alignment is not about your convenience, it's about your transformation. Right now, some of you are in that in-between space. You're not where you were, but you're not. Yet where you're going, it feels quiet, it feels uncertain, and maybe you've been tempted to settle, to make something happen on your own just to fill the waiting. But listen, don't confuse delay with denial when God is preparing a connection that carries destiny. He protects it. Sometimes that means holding you back so that He can work on what's ahead. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. Alignment means both people must be ready. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Because a soulmate isn't just someone you fall for. It's someone who fits into your assignment, someone who multiplies your peace, not your pain. God will not allow the right person to show up when your heart is still healing from the wrong one. He'll use this season to refine you, to detox your spirit from the residue of old attachments, to teach you what love actually feels like when it's not built on fear, anxiety, or confusion. And that's why some connections had to end. You weren't losing, you were being cleared. Because God will never let what's meant for you compete with what's distracting you. When you start to trust that, peace returns you. Stop chasing. You stop trying to force what doesn't flow. You learn to breathe again and let the timing of heaven take the lead. You see, alignment is evidence that God still intends to fulfill His word. Romans 8:28 says, "All things work together for the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purpose." All things. Not just the easy things that means the heartbreak. The waiting, the loneliness, the lessons. Every single one of them has been working for your good. Your soulmate is not just a person you desire, they're a mirror of your healed self. So the more you heal, the clearer they'll appear. You'll start to attract from wholeness, not from need. You'll stop settling for almost and start recognizing the sacred. When divine alignment starts to move, you'll feel it in your spirit before you see it with your eyes. Suddenly, you'll feel lighter, more focused. You'll sense that something is shifting. And it is, because alignment always comes after surrender. And surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means giving God permission to do it His way. If you're in this season right now, don't rush it. The waiting is building the foundation for what's coming, and when it comes, it will not be fragile. It won't be forced. It will be firm, rooted in peace, timing, and truth. So I want you to write this in the comments, right? Now, I'm ready for divine alignment. Say it out loud as a declaration over your life, because the moment you align your faith with that truth, heaven starts to respond. You don't have to chase alignment. You attract it by being aligned within yourself. And when that happens, your soulmate will find you the same way a key finds its lock. Perfectly, effortlessly, divinely. You are not late. You are right on time. This is your season of divine alignment. Number 2, the power of letting go. There is a sacred power in letting go. But most people don't understand it until they're forced to. Letting go is not weakness. It's spiritual strength. It's the moment you stop trying to play God in your own story and finally allow Him to be who He's always been, the author and finisher of your faith. When you hold on to what has expired, you block what is divine, because God cannot fill hands that are still gripping the past. And sometimes what's keeping your soulmate from finding you isn't distance. It's your attachment to something that no longer carries your destiny. Some of you watching this right now are still emotionally tied to someone God already released. You replay conversations, you revisit memories, you reopen doors that were already closed, and every time you do, you drain your spiritual energy, you delay your alignment, you lose peace, trying to keep something that was never meant to stay. The truth is, release is revelation. When God removes someone, it's not rejection, it's redirection. He saw what you couldn't, He heard the conversations you didn't, and He knew that what you were asking Him to bless was never built to last. Letting go doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you stop leaking. You stop losing yourself in something that's already finished. You stop romanticizing what hurt you, because deep down you know it's safer to stay stuck than to risk healing. But healing is where your breakthrough lives. God can only bring your soulmate when your heart is clear enough to recognize them. If you're still rehearsing old pain, you'll project it onto new peace. If you're still defending what broke you, you'll distrust what's healthy. So the work of letting go is not emotional. It's spiritual. Isaiah 43:18 says, "Forget the former things and do not dwell on the past. Behold, I am doing a new thing." That verse isn't a suggestion, it's a command. Because you cannot receive the new while worshipping the old. You cannot step into promise while clinging to pain. Letting go is about obedience. It's saying, God, I don't understand it, but I trust you anyway. It's when your faith says, even if it hurts, I'll still heal. Even if I don't see the full picture yet, I'll still surrender the brush back to you. And I know that's hard. I know some of you invested years, prayers, and tears into something that didn't work. You poured your soul into it, and you feel like walking away means you failed, but you didn't fail. You fulfilled your part. And now, God is calling you to let Him handle what comes next. When you release the wrong one, you make space for the right one. When you stop forcing closed doors, you invite divine opportunities. When you choose peace over control, you activate the flow of grace. And that's when your soulmate begins to appear. Not as someone to fix your loneliness, but as someone who meets your wholeness. Letting go is a faith test. It's God asking, do you trust me enough to believe that I can restore better than what you lost? And when you say yes to that, you shift dimensions. You stop living in survival mode and start living in surrender. So right now, I want you to type this in the comments. I'm letting go so I can grow. That's your declaration today. Because the truth is, the moment you release what's draining you, God releases what's destined for you. There's a peace that follows obedience. There's a joy that comes when you stop chasing closure and start choosing clarity. And there's a blessing waiting on the other side of your surrender. Your soulmate will not have to fight through your past to love you. They'll meet you healed, whole and ready, because you let go, you trusted, and you made room for destiny to find you. This is the power of letting go. Number 3, preparation before revelation. Everyone wants revelation. Everyone wants the moment when things finally make sense, when love appears, when the wait ends, but few want to talk about preparation, the unseen process that makes revelation possible. Because the truth is, God will never reveal what you're not ready to receive. He doesn't withhold to punish you. He withholds to protect you. And if you're in a waiting season right now, you're not being ignored. You're being refined. Preparation is not glamorous. It's the quiet work, the daily discipline, the internal building that nobody sees but heaven celebrates. It's God shaping your character to sustain what He's about to send before your soulmate arrives. God works on the version of you they're meant to meet. He aligns your mindset. He deepens your faith. He stretches your patience, because true connection requires spiritual maturity, not just emotional attraction. Some of you have prayed for a love that feels divine, but divine love comes with divine responsibility. You can't carry a kingdom connection with a survival mindset. So preparation becomes the training ground for the life you've been praying for. God uses isolation to teach identity. He uses waiting to strengthen wisdom. He uses disappointment to develop discernment. Every unanswered prayer has been part of your spiritual education. And here's what I've learned. Preparation reveals what you really believe. When nothing's moving, do you still trust His timing? When doors stay closed, do you still believe He's good? Because it's easy to have faith when things feel certain, but true faith is built in uncertainty. David was anointed long before he became king. Joseph dreamed. Long before he reached the palace, Esther was hidden. Long before she was crowned. Every divine connection follows the same pattern. Preparation before revelation. So maybe right now you feel forgotten. Maybe you're wondering why nothing seems to shift. But listen, heaven is not ignoring you. Heaven is investing in you. You're being trained for love that won't break under pressure, for partnership that carries purpose, for connection that reflects Christ-like strength. This is the season where you learn to stop performing and start preparing, where you build boundaries that protect your peace, where you learn to pray from wholeness instead of from worry, where you stop settling for almost and start living in alignment. You might be thinking, how do I know I'm ready? You'll know when peace becomes your priority, when you stop craving validation and start walking in value, when you stop chasing answers and start trusting the process. Because preparation is not about waiting for someone to show up. It's about becoming the person who won't sabotage it when they do. It's about letting God rewrite your patterns, heal your fears, strengthen your sense of worth so deeply that love adds to you, not completes you. So don't rush this. Don't compare your timeline to anyone else's. You are not behind. You're being built. And what God builds lasts. Every delay has purpose. Every lesson is shaping the foundation of the relationship you'll one day hold. And when revelation finally comes, when that person steps in, when the pieces fit, you'll understand why the preparation had to take time. You'll look back and realize that nothing was wasted. Every heartbreak taught you how to love better. Every waiting season taught you how to listen. Every lonely night taught you how to hear God's voice without distraction. So today I want you to declare this in the comments. I'm being prepared for what I prayed for. Say it out loud. Let heaven hear your faith in motion, because when your preparation meets God's revelation, everything changes. You won't have to chase what's meant for you. You'll recognize it, you'll receive it, and you'll be ready to hold it. That's the power of preparation before revelation. Number 4. The gift of discernment in love. Love can be beautiful, but without discernment it can also be blinding. We ask God for connection, but He first gives clarity, because real love is never meant to confuse you. It's meant to confirm you. Discernment is the ability to see beyond charm and chemistry, to sense the spirit behind the smile, to recognize the difference between comfort and calling. Many people mistake emotional intensity for spiritual alignment, but emotions can shout while truth whispers. And if you only follow feelings, you'll miss the still small voice of wisdom. The Bible teaches that we will know a tree by its fruit, not its flowers, because flowers bloom fast and fade quickly, but fruit takes time and reveals what's been nurtured. In private, discernment helps. You slow down long enough to watch the fruit grow, to see if their consistency matches their conversation, to notice if peace increases or anxiety multiplies when they enter your life. It's not suspicion, it's spiritual sensitivity, and it's one of the greatest gifts you can carry into love. Listen, your soulmate is not just the person who excites your heart. They're the person whose presence aligns with your peace, someone whose character echoes the character of Christ, not perfection, but pursuit of truth. Discernment doesn't make you hard, it makes you wise. It keeps your heart soft without letting it stay open to confusion. Sometimes, the most loving thing God does is close a door you were begging Him to open, because He saw what you couldn't. He knew that peace would cost you purpose. So when He removes someone, don't see it as rejection, see it as redirection. Because discernment often begins with disappointment. There will be moments when you ask, why didn't it work out? Why did they walk away? Why did the timing collapse? And heaven answers back, because it wasn't meant to carry the weight of who you're becoming. God is not only protecting you from pain, He's protecting the purity of the promise. He knows the difference between someone who wants to love you and someone who's ready to love you. Discernment helps you see that difference. It helps you recognize motives without malice. It helps you love with eyes open instead of blindly hoping someone will change. And if you've ever ignored that quiet inner warning, you know what it costs. You know how it feels when peace leaves the room. So this time, listen to it. That tug in your spirit is not fear, it's guidance. Ask God daily, give me eyes to see what you see. Give me ears to hear what you're saying. Give me courage to walk away when peace does. Because discernment isn't just for avoiding heartbreak. It's for identifying the heart that's truly yours. When the right person comes, you won't need to force it. Your spirit will recognize the familiar rhythm of peace. Their words will match their actions. Their presence will push you closer to purpose, not farther from it. That's how divine alignment feels, steady, safe, and sure. So before you ask for confirmation from them, seek confirmation from Him, because peace is the voice of God saying, this is healthy, this is holy, this is safe. And if what you're in doesn't sound like that, step back and breathe. Your clarity is more valuable than your chemistry. Discernment is the protector of destiny. It saves you from counterfeit connections and keeps your heart ready for the one God approves. So in the comments, declare this with faith. God, give me discernment in love. Write it, own it. Because discernment isn't distance, it's divine direction. And when you honor that direction, love will no longer drain you, it will develop you, and you'll finally understand the power of the gift of discernment in love. Number 5. The power of emotional maturity. Everyone wants love that feels strong, but few are ready for love that requires strength. Because emotional maturity isn't just about what you feel, it's about how you handle what you feel. It's about learning to manage emotion instead of letting emotion manage you. Real love will test your patience. It will stretch your communication. It will challenge your ability to stay calm when your triggers rise. And that's where emotional maturity becomes your anchor. The Bible reminds us that love is patient and kind, not jealous or boastful, not easily angered. That means true love is grown through maturity, not through mood swings. When God begins to prepare you for your soulmate, He will often train your emotional muscles before He introduces the relationship, because what you don't master in singleness, you'll magnify in partnership. If you're still led by impulse, still controlled by fear, still reactive instead of reflective, you'll sabotage what you prayed for, not because you're unworthy, but because you weren't yet ready to manage the weight of real connection. Emotional maturity means you pause before you speak. You listen before you assume, you pray before you respond. You choose peace over proving your point. It means you stop expecting people to heal wounds they didn't cause, and you stop making your partner responsible for your peace. Listen, your soulmate isn't coming to rescue you. They're coming to join you, and if you haven't learned to regulate your own emotions, you'll end up fighting the person God sent to love you. Emotional maturity is the proof that you've healed. It shows up in how you handle disappointment, how you recover after conflict, how you forgive without conditions, because love doesn't require perfection, it requires growth, and growth is impossible without accountability. Some of you have been asking God for someone loyal, but loyalty begins with you. Are you loyal to your healing? Are you consistent with your peace? Do you keep showing up for the version of yourself God's building? That's maturity, to stop reacting like the old you and start responding like the healed you. When you can feel frustration, but still choose grace. That's maturity. When you can have a difficult conversation without shutting down. That's maturity. When you can disagree without dishonoring. That's maturity. And here's the truth. Emotional maturity doesn't just attract love. It sustains it. Because every healthy relationship will face storms, and when emotion runs wild, only maturity keeps you anchored. There will be moments when misunderstanding tries to pull you apart, but maturity whispers, stay calm, seek clarity, build peace, not pride. And when two mature hearts come together, arguments turn into conversations, problems turn into prayers, distance turns into reflection instead of resentment. That's the difference between surface love and stable love. So if you're single right now, see this season as emotional training. God is showing you how to manage anger, how to communicate without manipulation, how to stay kind even when you feel unseen. He's building the emotional endurance you'll need to love for a lifetime, every time. You choose peace over panic. You're preparing every time you forgive instead of holding on. You're maturing every time you pray instead of posting your pain. You're growing. So don't despise the lessons. They're shaping your heart for divine a partnership, because love built on maturity can handle change, it can handle growth, it can handle truth. In the comments, declare this right now: God, make me emotionally mature enough to handle the love you have for me. Write it and believe it. Because when maturity meets love, storms can come, seasons can shift, but the foundation will stand strong. That's the power of emotional maturity. Number 6, the weight of patience in love. Everyone wants love to happen fast. We want connection without confusion, timing without tension, answers without waiting. But love that's rushed rarely roots deep, and what doesn't root deep doesn't last long. Patience is not punishment, it's protection. It's God's way of stretching your trust before He strengthens your bond. Because love built on impatience quickly turns into pressure, and pressure suffocates what should have grown naturally. Patience is the bridge between prayer and promise, between your hope and His fulfillment. And it's often the hardest bridge to stand on, when nothing seems to move, when doors stay closed, when silence feels heavy. That's where patience is tested the most. But hear me. You can't microwave what God is marinating. He's preparing both hearts, not just yours. He's aligning circumstances, healing histories, teaching lessons that will become the foundation of your future. Patience isn't passive, it's active. Waiting, it's faith in motion, it's choosing peace while the process unfolds. It's saying, God, I trust you enough to not rush you. I believe that what you have for me is worth the wait, because sometimes the delay isn't about them. It's about you. It's about God refining your readiness, removing the habits that would hurt the relationship once it comes. Patience exposes your motives. Are you waiting for a person, or are you waiting for God's plan? Because there's a difference. When you're patient in love, you're saying, I'd rather have it right than have it now. And that posture invites God's favor into the story. Every strong relationship carries the weight of patience, because patience teaches grace. Patience builds empathy. Patience trains you to love without control. It teaches you to stop trying to force timing and start trusting divine order. Think about it. Everything God creates takes time. Even miracles have process. He forms before he fills. He builds before he blesses. So, why would love be any different? If God took time to shape the earth, he'll take time to shape your connection, because what's divine deserves development. You can't skip steps and still expect strength. You can't rush what heaven is perfecting. Patience allows God to prepare you both privately. So when you meet, you recognize each other through peace, not desperation. And that peace, that quiet knowing, is worth every silent season you've endured. Listen, waiting doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means something is happening that you can't see yet. Just because it's unseen doesn't mean it's undone. There's movement in the mystery, and patience keeps your faith steady while God works. The enemy of patience is comparison. When you see others getting what you prayed for and wonder if God forgot you. He didn't. He's personalizing your miracle. He's customizing your story. He's ensuring that when it arrives, it fits your purpose perfectly. Patience isn't just waiting on someone to love you. It's letting God teach you how to love like him, slow to anger, abounding in mercy, faithful through time. That's divine patience, and that's the posture of real love. So right now, instead of asking, when will it happen? Ask, what are you teaching me while I wait? Because revelation always follows patience. In the comments, declare this: God, teach me patience in love. Write it, believe it. Let heaven see your trust, because when patience finishes its work, you'll realize waiting wasn't wasted, it was wisdom. Every pause had purpose, every delay had design, and every moment you stayed faithful was building the endurance for everlasting love. That's the weight of patience in love. Number 7, the reward of wholeness. Before union, everybody talks about finding their other half. But real love isn't two halves trying to complete each other. It's two whole people choosing to walk together in purpose. Wholeness is the foundation of divine connection, because God doesn't join broken pieces hoping they'll heal each other. He heals you first, so that love becomes an overflow, not an escape. Before God brings union, he brings wholeness, because he knows what you build from emptiness will collapse under pressure. Wholeness means you know who you are before someone comes to affirm it. It means your peace doesn't depend on their presence. Your joy doesn't crumble under their silence. Your identity doesn't shift based on their approval. Wholeness is learning to love yourself the way God already does, not in pride, but in acceptance. It's the quiet confidence that says, I'm already loved, already chosen, already enough. When you know that, you stop begging for what you already carry. That's why some of you have been in a season of solitude, not isolation but construction. God has been building you from the inside out. He's been repairing your confidence, healing your self-image, restoring your belief that you're worthy of love that doesn't hurt. And sometimes that process feels lonely, because healing separates you from the familiar. You outgrow what used to feel comfortable. You start craving peace more than attention, and at first that feels like loss. But it's actually freedom, because once you're whole, you stop settling for half-hearted love. You stop tolerating confusion. You stop calling inconsistency chemistry. Wholeness sharpens your discernment. You can see red flags without painting them pink. You can walk away without resentment. You can love people deeply without losing yourself in the process. When you're whole, you bring stability into the relationship. You bring peace into the partnership. You bring clarity into the connection. That's why God is patient with your process. He wants you to meet your soulmate as a healed version, not a hurting one, because love can complement healing, but it cannot replace it. Listen, the love story you want starts with the self-love you practice. You can't pour from an empty heart, and you can't build a kingdom connection from a place of constant need. Wholeness allows you to receive love as a gift, not as a fix, because love is meant to enhance your peace, not patch your pain. So take this season to become the healthiest version of you, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Because when wholeness meets wholeness, love becomes a partnership, not a project. When you're whole, you're not afraid of being alone. You're selective instead of desperate. You're prayerful instead of impulsive. You're peaceful instead of anxious. And that peace, that quiet strength is exactly what draws divine connection. Because wholeness attracts wholeness. Healed hearts recognize each other, and what God joins together, in that kind of maturity, becomes unshakable. So if you're in that rebuilding season right now, don't rush to escape it. Embrace it. Thank God for it. He's preparing you to carry love with confidence, to walk in partnership without losing your individuality. You're learning to stand on your own 2 feet, so that when someone stands beside you, you both move in the same divine direction. In the comments, write this with faith. I am whole and ready for healthy love. Declare it so. Heaven and your own heart can hear it, because wholeness is not about perfection. It's about peace, and peace is the soil where lasting love grows. So take a breath. You're not behind, you're becoming. And when 2 whole hearts finally meet, there won't be striving, there will be stillness. There won't be fear, there will be faith. That's the reward of wholeness before union. Take a deep breath. Let everything you just heard settle in your spirit. Because what we talked about today isn't just about relationships. It's about becoming the kind of person who can carry one God's way. Preparation, discernment, patience, maturity, wholeness, all of it is shaping you for love that doesn't break under pressure but builds with purpose. And maybe right now your story feels unfinished. Maybe there are questions you still can't answer. Maybe you're wondering when. It's your turn. Listen, you're not waiting for a person. You're waiting for alignment. You're waiting for the moment when God says, now. Because everything I've built in, you can finally hold what I'm about to bring to you. Every prayer, every tear, every lesson has been part of that preparation. Nothing was wasted. Not a single season was random. You've been growing into the kind of love that reflects God's heart, steady, faithful, patient, and powerful. So I want you to do something before you leave. Go down to the comments and write, I'm ready for divine alignment, because that declaration tells heaven and your own heart that you trust the process, that you believe what God is doing behind the scenes, and that you refuse to settle for anything less than purpose. If this message spoke to you, if something inside you felt peace, or you finally saw your season from a new perspective, make sure you hit subscribe. Daily motivation prayers right now, because every week we walk through love, healing, and purpose together. Real conversations, real growth, real faith. And if this teaching blessed you and you want to help me keep creating more of these long-form messages, click the super thanks button below. It helps support the channel and tells me that this kind of content is speaking life into you. Drop a comment and share what part hit you the most. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read tonight. You're not alone in this. There's a whole community here, walking the same journey of becoming. Keep showing up for your growth. Keep choosing peace. Keep trusting God's timing, because the love story He's writing for you isn't just about romance, it's about revelation. And when the time comes, when everything aligns, you'll see that it was all worth it. You'll see that the waiting wasn't empty. It was preparation, that the tears weren't weakness. They were watering your future. Stay faithful, stay patient, stay expectant, because what God Builds he blesses, and what he joins. No distance, no delay, no doubt can undo. So take this message, hold it close, live from it, and never forget. You are being prepared for divine alignment. Now go ahead. Subscribe to Daily Motivation Prayers right now. Comment your takeaway and leave a super thanks if this word lifted you. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, stay whole, stay hopeful, and stay ready for what heaven's about to reveal. Amen.